Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kristen Pitti. I'm not living with cancer, and I'm not a cancer survivor. I'm surviving the loss of my brother, Craig, to colon cancer. 2 years ago, almost to the day, while we were on vacation in Lake Tahoe, my brother started having some really odd health symptoms. It got to the point where he was getting pretty uncomfortable and felt he needed to go to the doctor. So he decided to leave Tahoe early. About a month after his initial symptoms, my brother went in for his colonoscopy. We all assumed that it was going to be something like Crohn's disease, especially because the blood work that he had just done prior to his colonoscopy all was great. I'll never forget the phone call that my mother gave to me after my brother got out of his colonoscopy. She called me and said they found cancer in his colon. Just like my mom, my dad, and my brother, I was in complete disbelief. She told me that they were fairly certain that it was an early stage, either 1 or 2, especially because he had only had 30 days of symptoms. But they were still going to put him into a CT scan just to make sure it hadn't spread. About 2 hours later, my mom calls again and says, "You need to leave work and come to the hospital. He has stage 4 colon cancer." I could not believe the words that had just come out of her mouth. I can still hear the pain in her voice. I can still feel the lump in my throat and the feeling of my stomach dropping. How was this possible? How did my 40-year-old brother, who had 30 days of symptoms, just get diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer? I, of course, immediately dropped everything and went straight to the hospital. The look on my parents' faces when I saw them killed me. The look on my brother's face, heartbreaking. He looked so defeated and terrified, and how could he not? He had never been sick in his life except for a handful of times of having a cold or the flu. He was always a very healthy person, always very active. He was the varsity boys basketball coach for San Marin High School, and he himself played basketball on a regular basis. In fact, the day after he got diagnosed, he played in his men's league basketball game, and ironically had the best game of his life. And if that's not the biggest you-know-what to cancer, I don't know what is. Shortly after Craig was diagnosed, he started on his treatment, which consisted of radiation and chemo. And after only about 5 days of chemo, my brother went into cardiac arrest due to the chemo medication. Thankfully, my dad was there when it happened. He's the only one in our family who knew CPR, and he was able to resuscitate my brother and getting his heart beating again. There was only a 3% chance that this chemo medication would cause cardiac arrest, and Craig was that 3%. The next 10 days were by far the most traumatic days of my life, as well as our family and friends, as well as the most heartwarming days of my life. It was a constant roller coaster while my brother was in the ICU for those 10 days. But the love and support that we received from our friends, who are our family, was incredible. My parents and I don't have any family here on the West Coast. These people who are here with us today and who are there with us every single day in the ICU are our family. Every morning, Craig's friends and our family friends would start trickling in while we were in the ICU. We'd let people come and go in his room, and if you weren't in the room, you were out on the patio at Kaiser with the rest of the Pitti Army. To say that we had an amazing support system would be an understatement. Since my brother's passed away, I have talked to a medium, and whether you believe in that stuff or not, I sure do. The medium told me that Craig saw all of it while he was in the ICU and in his coma. He saw all of us laughing, crying, supporting each other, and surrounding him. She said he loved seeing all of his friends and family coming together each day to support us and him, and I 100% believe that. My brother was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer on September 14th of 2017 and peacefully passed away 29 days later on October 13th, 2017. When my brother passed on, he was surrounded by his best friends, my parents and I, and all the people who loved him the most. For circumstances that were so horrible, I can't imagine a better way going out than having that much love surrounding you. I can only imagine how touched Craig was. So this here is a thank you. This is a thank you to all of our family who have continued to support us and be there for us over the last 2 years, and who I know will continue to be there for us. This is a thank you to all of you out there who have been a support to the families that have been surviving the loss of someone from cancer. And finally, this is a thank you to all of you who are supporting or have supported someone with cancer. The days are really rough and dark at times, but it's people like you who help to make those dark days a little brighter. Thank you.
We're going to start our luminary lap now. I'm going to have Kristen hold the torch. She'll be leading the lap, and if y'all want to line up behind her, and we'll walk the lap in silence.